Imagine waking up beside the largest lake on Earth, a body of water so massive it once covered an area nearly 3 times the size of China. Now imagine that, almost overnight, its water level drops more than 820 feet. No asteroid hits the planet. No earthquake tears the ground open. No monster rises from the deep. And yet, everything living inside that lake begins to disappear. Above the disaster layer, there is almost nothing. Below it, fossils. No long transition. No slow warning. Just an entire lost world, suddenly cut off from life. This was the Paratethys Sea, one of the strangest bodies of water in Earth's history. Today, the Caspian Sea is one of the last pieces left behind from that ancient world. But millions of years ago, Paratethys was not just a lake. It was a gigantic inland sea stretching across Eurasia, filled with creatures that sound almost impossible. There were ancient sharks, prehistoric whales, giant crocodile-like predators, sea cows, strange dolphins, and even baleen whales that were smaller as adults than a newborn blue whale today. But before this place became a paradise, it was almost a dead world. About 34 million years ago, the ancient Tethys Ocean began to change. Mountain ranges were rising. Land masses shifted. The northern part of that ocean was slowly trapped by land. Its connection to the open sea weakened, and eventually, a massive inland sea was born. At first, this should have been the perfect place for life. The climate was warm. The water was huge. The conditions looked ideal. But the early Paratethys had one major problem. Its water barely circulated. The seafloor became dark, still, and starved of oxygen. Most animals could not survive there. Anything that sank into the mud did not rot away like it would in a normal ocean. Instead, it could be sealed almost perfectly into the sediment. For nearly 20 million years, this giant body of water stayed like a dead sea. Then, around 15 million years ago, everything changed. A massive flood of seawater pushed into inland Eurasia. Fresh oxygen entered the basin. The dead water came back to life. Coral reefs appeared. Animals rushed in. And suddenly, Paratethys became one of the wildest marine worlds on the planet. Primitive sea cows fed in the shallows. Semi-aquatic hoofed animals lived near the shoreline. Ancient dolphins hunted through the water. Giant fish-eating crocodilians patrolled the basin. And at the top of the food chain was Megalodon. In this ancient inland sea, Megalodon was almost untouchable. It was huge, powerful, and built to dominate. No animal in Paratethys could challenge it in a direct fight. But the terrifying part is this: Megalodon was not defeated by another predator. It was defeated by the water itself. As the Alps and Carpathian Mountains continued rising, Paratethys was cut off again. Its connection to outside waters collapsed. Sea level dropped. Salt levels rose. The water became more extreme than many animals could handle. This salinity crisis lasted for millions of years. Megalodon could not adapt. Many marine species disappeared. The top predator of the food chain vanished from this part of the world, not because something stronger attacked it, but because the environment changed too fast. After that, Paratethys became even more isolated. What had once been a sea turned into a closed lake. And inside that closed world, evolution took a very strange direction. Food became limited. Space became restricted. Large animals could no longer survive the same way they had before. So some species began to shrink. This is how Paratethys produced some of the smallest baleen whales in Earth's history. Some of these whales were only around 6.5 feet long as adults. To understand how strange that is, a newborn blue whale today is already more than 20 feet long. These ancient whales were fully grown, yet smaller than a baby blue whale. They still fed like baleen whales, filtering tiny organisms from the water, but their bodies became compact, unusual, and highly specialized for life in this isolated lake. Paratethys also created many species found nowhere else on Earth. Scientists call this the aquatic island effect. Just like islands can produce strange land animals, closed lakes can force aquatic animals onto their own evolutionary path. Even the lake itself may have looked unreal. Its chemistry gave the water a clear turquoise color, sometimes described as Paratethys blue. Along the shore, huge ancient relatives of elephants walked through the mud. Saber-toothed cats hunted nearby. Three-toed horses came to drink. Giant catfish moved along the lake floor. If you could stand there, you would not be looking at anything that exists in the modern world. You would be looking at a lost ecosystem, sealed away by geography and time. But it was not going to last. During the late Miocene, climate conditions shifted again. The water became salty and alkaline. The level of the lake collapsed. At its worst, it dropped more than 820 feet. The unique animals of Paratethys disappeared from the same geological layer. The tiny baleen whales vanished. The endemic seals vanished. The ancient dolphins vanished. The mollusks that had taken millions of years to evolve inside the lake were gone forever. Then Paratethys broke apart. Some pieces became the Black Sea. Some became Lake Pannon. Some became smaller basins. Lake Pannon eventually dried up completely. The Black Sea later reconnected with the Mediterranean. And the Caspian Sea remained as one of the last surviving fragments of that ancient giant. The story of Paratethys is not just about a lake disappearing. It is about how fragile even the biggest ecosystems can be. For millions of years, this world had predators, whales, strange shore animals, and life forms found nowhere else. But when the environment changed, power did not matter. Size did not matter. Even dominance did not matter. Because evolution is not about becoming the strongest. It is about fitting the world around you. And when that world changes too quickly, even the greatest kingdom on earth can vanish without warning.